Every morning, millions of people pour a cup of coffee, believing they're helping themselves wake up, never realizing it may be one of the first things quietly stressing their kidneys before the day even begins. I'm Dr. Ethan Caldwell, and after years of studying kidney health, I've noticed something deeply unsettling. Some of the most dangerous kidney damage I see doesn't begin with dramatic symptoms or sudden pain. It begins with ordinary routines people trust every single day. Chronic stress, poor sleep, dehydration, and using caffeine to force the body to keep going long after it's already exhausted. I've had patients sit across from me, completely shocked after routine lab work revealed declining kidney filtration. These were not reckless people. They were teachers, business owners, parents, hardworking Americans trying to stay productive and energized. Many of them told me the same thing. "Doctor, I thought feeling tired all the time was normal." But their bodies had been sending warning signs for years. Brain fog, afternoon crashes, waking up exhausted, needing more caffeine every few months just to feel functional again. What most people never hear is that coffee affects the kidneys before it even fully reaches the brain. Within minutes, caffeine changes the pressure inside millions of microscopic filtration units called glomeruli. In healthy conditions, that temporary shift may seem harmless. But when caffeine mixes with stress hormones, poor recovery, inflammation, and dehydration, the kidneys can become trapped in a cycle of silent overwork that slowly builds beneath the surface. And the frightening part is that you usually cannot feel it happening. One of my patients, a 52-year-old office manager, relied on 4 cups of coffee every day just to survive long meetings and deadlines. He wasn't reckless. He exercised. He thought he was doing everything right. But his kidney filtration numbers were already drifting in the wrong direction. Not because coffee alone destroyed his kidneys, but because his body never had a chance to recover from the constant pressure it was living under. What's happening inside the kidneys during that process is something most people have never been taught. Caffeine temporarily blocks a protective chemical called adenosine, which normally helps regulate pressure inside the kidneys. Once that signal is interrupted, blood flow surges into the filtration system, creating what nephrologists call hyperfiltration. In healthy people, that temporary spike may not seem dangerous, but when it repeats day after day for years, especially in people already living with inflammation or high blood pressure, the kidneys begin absorbing silent mechanical stress they were never designed to handle forever. And this is where many people unknowingly fall into a dangerous cycle. They wake up exhausted because their body never fully recovered overnight, then use more caffeine to push through the fatigue, only to increase the strain again the next day. Over time, the body adapts so gradually that the warning signs begin feeling normal. The afternoon crashes, the restless sleep, the rising blood pressure, the constant dependence on another cup just to stay focused. But here's the twist that surprised even many researchers. Coffee is not simply harmful. Hidden inside coffee beans are powerful antioxidants like chlorogenic acid, compounds linked in multiple studies to improved metabolic health and lower risk of type 2 diabetes, one of the leading causes of kidney disease in the United States. In other words, coffee can both help and harm the kidneys depending on the condition of the body drinking it. I once worked with a patient in his 60s who switched from sugar-loaded, flavored coffee drinks to simple black coffee while improving hydration and sleep quality. 6 months later, his blood pressure stabilized, his energy improved, and his kidney numbers stopped declining. The difference wasn't magic. His body was finally working with the coffee instead of fighting against everything surrounding it. But there's another piece of this story that most people completely overlook: stress. Because in today's world, many people are no longer drinking coffee from a place of energy. They're drinking it from exhaustion. They wake up already anxious, already mentally overwhelmed, already running on survival mode before the first sip even touches their lips. Then caffeine collides with cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone, and that combination can intensify blood pressure and filtration strain far more aggressively than people realize. One patient told me he couldn't survive a single workday without multiple energy drinks and large coffees. He thought the racing heart, irritability, and constant fatigue were just signs of being busy. But after years of chronic stress and overstimulation, his body was stuck in a permanent state of overdrive. His sleep quality collapsed, his recovery disappeared, and early kidney strain began appearing in his lab results. Research from the National Institutes of Health has shown that chronic cortisol elevation can worsen inflammation, damage blood vessel function, and increase cardiovascular and kidney stress over time. And when poor sleep enters the picture, the damage compounds even faster. Because your kidneys are designed to repair microscopic wear during deep sleep, not remain trapped in high alert mode throughout the night. So if you constantly wake up tired, depend on caffeine to survive the day, and still feel drained by evening, your body may already be warning you that something deeper is happening beneath the surface. But even that is not the final piece of this puzzle. One of the biggest discoveries that changed how I approach caffeine entirely is realizing how differently people process it biologically. Some people metabolize caffeine quickly because of a gene called CYP1A2. Others process it extremely slowly, meaning caffeine remains active in their bloodstream for hours longer than they realize. I've seen patients who could drink coffee late at night and sleep peacefully, while others remained restless and overstimulated from a single afternoon cup. One woman I worked with believed she was simply bad at sleeping for years. But once she stopped drinking coffee after noon, her nervous system finally calmed down enough for real recovery sleep to happen again. And this is why copying someone else's coffee habits can become dangerous. Your genetics, stress level, hydration, sleep quality, and overall health all determine whether coffee becomes supportive or destructive. The frightening thing about kidney damage is that it rarely announces itself loudly in the beginning. It builds slowly, quietly, through thousands of repeated moments most people never think twice about. But I want you to remember something hopeful too. Your kidneys are incredibly resilient when you finally start giving them the support they need. Small habits can completely change the direction of your long-term health. Drinking water before caffeine, reducing sugary coffee drinks, avoiding excessive late-day caffeine, improving sleep quality, lowering chronic stress, and paying attention to how your own body responds instead of blindly following someone else's routine. This isn't about fear, it's about awareness. Because the goal is not to make people terrified of coffee. The goal is to help people understand what their body may have been trying to tell them for years before serious damage appears. So if this video helped you see coffee, stress, and kidney health differently, take a moment to save this video now so you can come back to these warning signs later. And if you care about protecting your kidneys, improving your energy, and learning the newest science-backed medical insights before small problems become serious ones, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. I'm Dr. Ethan Caldwell, and I truly hope this information helps you make smarter choices for your body, your energy, and your future health. Because sometimes the habits that feel the most harmless are the ones quietly shaping your future the most.